Oh, delay, but that happens. So YouTube is cooperating or not, but hey, that happens. Let's go ahead and opposite photos, sort of creating something real or just creating something totally abstract. So I have quite a few projects going on. Yeah, good old Wirecast and YouTube can keep up. So good to see you here, Robert, Jan, and everyone. Welcome. And thank you so much for joining me. And yeah, you can see on my screen right here, not a whole lot going on. Looks like we have some stars, a little galaxy. So we'll be playing with that, of course, and a number of other projects. So cool. I'm just going to focus on you guys. So let's go ahead and do this. Surreal. So what does it mean to be like to do sort of surreal work, right? You could Google it, surreal art, all that fun stuff, right? It's a lot of times it's like kind of coming up with an idea, okay? I did want to point out this, if you're ever like kind of need to kind of kickstart your creative juices. There's a lot of generators out there. I personally like this one. I could send this to you or post it in chat. It is a random word generator that you could literally pick a noun. Like if you want to combine, a person with an animal or something like that, you need some random animals, go in there, jump in, and randomize. I love this site because, again, there are no ads. I just love that there are no ads. But yeah, what do we take? Mule, mountain goat, cow, lizard. Just kind of go through, like, let's kind of think of some different ideas, things to create do and create something surreal is the goal. So, all right. Fantastic. Let's go over here. Yeah, I don't know why things were moving a little slow. Sci-fi noun, for instance. Okay, I want to do some sort of sci-fi, and this could just kind of sort of stir up some ideas as well. So, I don't know. I thought that was a cool resource, and now you know about it. And let's get started now. What I typically also like to do is like you could pick things randomly, but you really want to kind of, have an idea in mind is what it comes down to. But anyways, if you're just practicing in Photoshop, there's some things we can do. So here I have, again, this moon. I'm just going to kind of jump into this. I think when it comes to creating something surreal, you can, a lot of times I'll deal with size, so taking something really large and making it really small, right? Or taking opposites of edible versus inedible, right? So yeah, these are just fun little ideas. Taking shapes and saying, hey, this shape, this is a circle, right? It could be a sphere, but it could be just a circle. What else is a circle? Well, like oranges, right? So orange, we'll just type in orange. Let's type in oranges. Make sure we get some, that works. So again, oranges are circles as well. So like, okay, cool. We can kind of not only play with size and play with shape. We know these shapes are going to match up. So let's just drop in this lovely orange image. All right. All right, so that's what I'll do real fast. I have this orange image. And I have, what is it? 1, 2, 3, 4 projects that I have queued up. So let's see. It's going to get messy. But right in here, we want to go ahead and combine this with the moon. Jump over here. We'll use, so this is what I would do. This is a tough selection to do, I think. Right? Which is why I picked this image. It's like, how complex can this be? How easy is it going to be to select this orange right here in the front? So that's where I'm going to jump in. I'll use the new object selection tool. Okay, notice how it's automatically going to find the objects, kind of spin through, do that. I usually have this set up to lasso, and it will I can also lasso something. But you could already see that it's detecting all these different oranges. I just think it did an amazing job. Like, there's not much difference between, you know, this orange and that orange, the color as well as the object. Okay, so again, just click, selects it. You get the idea. So, aren't you glad I'm using this image? Jokes. There we are. Super easy. We can copy this, jump over here, paste it in. Boom. There we are. And we're back. Convert that to a smart object, right? The moon can also be a smart object right over here. So we have our orange. And did you know, I'm going to be giving you lots of pro tips today as well. If you want to name multiple layers, just hit tab, right? So I wanted to name orange and then I wanted to name moon. Just hit tab on your keyboard, jump down to the next one, type in moon, boom, done, right? Zoom out, there we are. I wanted to convert it to a smart object. I encourage you to make that a shortcut key. I make you know, my popular, of course, shortcuts are popular things that I do. I turn them into shortcuts. But yeah, basically convert it to a smart object. I don't want to go to that menu. We're good. Okay, take that, Command T. There's another one. You know, I could hold down the Shift key, you know, scrunch it up like that. As we can see, we can kind of get that into perspective. But this isn't exactly, we're smashing it. So this kind of is not working, right? You can right click and then distort, right? So again, another pro tip, I do this all the time. Command T will transform. And then if you right click on that object, you have access to all these additional ones rather than going clear up here to transform and clear down there or wherever. But again, I want to distort this, not just, we're not making orange juice. We are putting this into perspective, right? Like that. And again, there's other ways to do this. Oh yeah, case of tab fallen. Yeah, did you notice my little? I hurt myself, people. It's so bad. Right, super easy. I'm gonna show you the final version. This is just one project I'm rolling through, and I'm gonna do this as fast as possible. Boom, moon, Command J to jump it. Click on this layer. 2, select it. Go up here. Guess what? Mask it out. Boom. We just created this. We want more of that. That's right. Keep it going, Paul. Hurry up. You guys demand perfection. Boom. Shortcut key that I'm not going to tell you what I even did there, because you know what? I got to keep my edge as a designer. Like, I got to keep my edge. So I can't tell you everything. You know, what else am I going to have? I'm kidding, of course. But that was the Command Delete will bring up fill with foreground color. Boom, boom. Sound effects, you got to add yourself. Mask, boom. Right? You get the idea. Seeing what I'm doing there? Here's my shortcut key. Command Delete fills with the foreground color. Right? Sean probably knows this, maybe Umacorn, but if you want to fill with a background color, it's Option Delete. It'll automatically fill, and you'll have that there. Boom, there we are. You guys get the idea. We just made this fun surreal warm-up image, to be honest with you, but there you go. Okay, super easy. Does that make sense? We can get into shading and all that stuff, but we're just playing with some things. All right, is that cool? I've created another version of this that I could always dig up on my desktop, but you get the idea. Okay, fun, done, save, close. Let's move on with our life, right? Other things we could do, even with this moon, we're playing with size. If you're talking about something surreal, I'm like, okay, you know, let's combine. Let's actually grab. Guys, I need to calm down. I'm just too excited for life. But yes. Oh, Andrew. Andrew's in the house. What's up, buddy? Good to see you. Okay, another tip. I'm going to show you 2 more things for finding images since we're just starting out. right? We've, you know, maybe identified the topic using this website. I'll go to stock photos. I'll jump over here. I'll go to, let's just click on stock. I've actually pulled down some images already, but just jump into, say, free right here. So you could do free Earth. Yeah, is the Earth free? Let's find out. Hit enter. I don't know why my internet's going a little slow, but I'm glad you're here. There we are. Looks like I already have this one licensed, but these are free images. Yeah, it's licensed, but it's also free. And you do have to license even free images because you're basically telling us that, like, you're not going to resell it, even though it's a free image. Oh, I love this one too. Look at that. Very cool. There we are. Just showing you free images on Adobe Stock. So that's one way to get images. Stoney's in the house. Good to have you here. The other way is right over here. Is I use this free Stock Search Pro. Okay, Pro version's not free, but you know, I found a great use in this, and that's where I found the oranges. So you can go and type in branch or whatever, and here's, sure enough, a branch, and I can go ahead and download that. The Pro version gives you the higher res images, just so you know. So there it is. There's my branch that I might want to include. Let's bring that over like so. Okay, so I'm playing with size here. Let's close that. You know, played with size with the orange. You know, those two things had a lot in common, but what I want to do now is like, how we doing, everybody? Reveal all. Here's branch. I'm going to go grab something. So what I do is I grab images, you know, I'll cut them out, right? We'll do a quick thing. We'll go over here, you know, rasterize layer, remove background. There we are. Here's my branch. And what you ultimately want to do, and what most designers, you guys all have your libraries. I do my best to put them in this libraries panel, so it's always going to be available to me. You guys know I use a lot of nature, so jump in here, nature's, flowers and plants, right? And that's where this is going to go. I'll take this branch. Let's actually scroll down to exactly where it will be. But this is all the stuff that I've cut out and cleaned up. So I only have to do this once. Trees, here's my branches. Boom, boom. Build out that library. The dark side of the orange. All right. There we are. There's my branch. Here's my awesome library that I'm going to pull from. So what do I do right up here? Rather than going out to the internet and having to cut that out every time, I'm going to have my library. I'm going to build that. I'm going to search through this library. We'll look for crow. Ooh, here's a cool crow. Maybe you want to use this crow. Let's drop it in there, right? And sort accordingly. So you get the idea. Let's look under animals and what else we have. Because I have all these, there's that crow and all these other lovely. Ooh, raven. Ooh, that's awesome. Can anyone tell me the difference between a crow and a raven? We could probably look at the differences. Usually I feel like their beaks are bigger, but I think ravens are more in Europe. Crows are largely in the US, so I don't know. The big difference is the name. And nice. Nailed it. I think raven. Raven just sounds scary, you know? It's just a raven is just scary. Not that scary. I'm kind of digging this raven over that bird. Over the crow. Anyways. Apologies. Here we have this raven that I've already cut out, but I didn't do a good job with it. Look at this. Other parts we need to get, so let's do that. Boom. Double click on that. Jump in here. Double click on that mask. And let's kind of come in and using the refine edge, We'll refine that edge. Typically what I do is I would actually go back to the original image since I only want to clean this up once. That would be my goal. Ooh, let's mute. There we go. All right. We good? We good. Oh, thank you. You know what? I actually spent time on my sabbatical cleaning up my library. So, all right. I don't use my Wacom like a lot, but I definitely do when I need to get into like selecting exactly. So that's what I'm doing right now, is just kind of grabbing this part. Ooh, geez. And make sure I hold down the Option key. So again, we're going to remove just this area. Whoop, 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 whoop. There we go. You get it. You get it. Yeah, that's a good point, by the way. You want my CC storage? Yeah, it does. It does take up space, so I do like clean it up largely. I try not to have a lot of too craziest stuff in there. All right, Raven, done. What the heck happened? Oh, there we go. It updated. Maybe I'll have that. Maybe I'll make this look intergalactic, so wait for it. I don't know, I'm just kind of thinking about this. I think animals are awesome and mysterious, and you know, it's like, hey, let's just make up a fairy tale about how all the planets and galaxies were put in place by this special raven that has a certain name. That's kind of the idea. What I want to do is I'm going to take this. Remember, I think we grabbed the Earth from Adobe Stock. So let's go out there. There we are. Let's open that up. Wait for it. Ooh, maybe it's back here already. I'm sorry. Yeah, it looks like it's already. Yeah. Okay, you guys ready for this? You guys ready for this tip? It's going to be huge, okay? We're going to make our space raven. We'll click and drag. So basically, I'm going to use the elliptical tool to select this Earth, right? We can click and draw it from the center, right, by holding the Option key. And then we can hold down the space bar like so. Oh, excuse me, the Shift key. Sorry about that. And then... What's up with my brain, people? What is up with my brain? There we go. Anyways, I guess that was anticlimactic. Just make sure you go to your selection tool. Once you put it down, you get that circle in the right size. Chances are it's not exactly on target, so the position is incorrect. You just like move it over. So that was kind of anticlimactic. But again, I want it nice and clean. There it is. Okay. So here's our intergalactic raven that flies through the sky and puts all the planets in place. So we're going to put this inside of its mouth, right? Here's a situation where, like, how do we open its mouth up more? Okay, a couple different ways we could do that. Okay. There's a Corvus constellation. Does Corvus mean bird? I don't know what Corvus is. Help me, General Kenobi. Okay, so we could open up its mouth. We could try a couple different things. So let's try first off, and just to kind of point this out, puppet warp. right? Puppet Warp will go through and give you this mesh, essentially. And if you don't see it, it's right up here, just show mesh. But now we can add pins right in here to make sure the objects, the parts that, some parts don't move. So that's what I'm doing right here, maybe right there. Ooh, I might actually escape out of that, and I might tighten this up even more. You ready for this? Because I want to be able to open it up more, so let's make sure we go in here and clean that up some more. I have a couple other projects I want to work on, just so you know. All right, so we'll knock through this one in the next 5 minutes. Puppy Warp, so cute. Okay, let's go in there. Puppet Warp, bam, bam, bam. Add your pins. Come in here, ba-boom, ba-boom. Selecting those. So the problem with, so you got to decide if this is going to work for you or not. Right, it's going to give you that very sort of obviously that warpy look. So it's going to warp it out, you know, and whether you want it as bendy or not is totally up to you. But actually, you know what? I think this is working because I don't want the Earth to be that big, just like that size, something kind of like that. We'll just do that. Command H. Yeah, that works. Why not? Enter. Boom, boom. Shrink it up. Intergalactic. Let's do that. Raven. And adding a little shadow. B for brush. D for default colors, which will give you the black and white. Yeah, so hit D for default, and then you can jump in, pick the brush you want. I'm just going to add a little bit of shading right in here. Just a little. That's way too much, Paul. What are you doing? Take that flow down, and we can just paint that in like so. Okay, there we are. Yeah, let's even rotate this Earth a little bit more, like so. Maybe like that. That looks a little better. Yeah, I don't even know if it needs that. So there's our intergalactic Raven that puts all of the planets in place. Kind of darken everything, make sure it stands out. And if we decide we want to put, you know, put them on a branch, we could do that because we also have that branch there as well. Okay? Good? Good, people? Same situation here. Yeah, this needs to be cleaned up as well. What is going on? That must be the background. So, okay. The end of something is always the start of something. I'm going to double click on this branch. And again, we've used the Refine Edge tool. You guys all should know about that, right? Just kind of refines those edges. Would be great for the feathers. But I actually like to shift the edge. It's kind of like choking the image, right? So since in general, it just all needs to be cut in on all sides, come over here, shift edge, right? See it's choking that edge up like so. And what you can do is right up here, wait, hold on. Actually down here, Decontaminate Colors. So it should actually remove it should be removing that maroon color there. And it's kind of like not doing it that well, I'm being honest with you. Right. Anyways, new layer with layer mask. Guess what? If I want to do it twice, I could always jump back in there and do it a second time, a third time, a fourth time. You get the idea. Okay, cool. Intergalactic Raven. Let's take the Raven and the Earth and all that stuff and put them in another smart object and make sure this bird is on this branch. So again, what does that mean? Hey, diving more into Puppet Warp, which I also have a shortcut for. So boom, boom. Let's kind of bring it down here, bring it up, right? Just give it more of a dramatic pose than this out-of-the-box look. Make sure this wraps around, right? All pretty straightforward, as you can see. Cool? Kind of like that. Maybe it's leaning over too much. Let's take that, go like so. So how is everybody doing? Clarissa, how are you? Yeah, well, yeah, so here's the thing, like, I don't know. So this is the thing. So we could talk about sort of design fundamentals, because that's, this design, it needed the branch to ground the design, right? Otherwise, it is just kind of floating around in space, right? I would love to talk about composition as well, right? So we want to make something interesting. We want to give everybody a focal point, the bird. We're trying to do our best to make it interesting, like having this earth, right, in his mouth, and just giving other elements typically around it to give your eye like just a place to wander, right? So that's kind of the basics of compositions, just so you know. But I know when things don't look right, it's when you don't have all those elements in place, right? It's like it doesn't have a focal point. Like if I had two birds the same size, I wouldn't know which one to look at first. It's kind of they're fighting for my attention, is what would happen there, right? So we want to be smart with this stuff. That's good. Yeah, you know, it's okay. Do you guys ever have it? What is that called? When you're working on a project, you'll start and it'll look pretty good, and then it gets worse, and then it gets better, right? This, you know, every design has peaks and valleys. It still needs more work, right? We want to hide this part. Yeah, I'm just gonna quite simply kind of jump in there and hit X to swap the colors. So I'm basically painting with black and white. All right, how's everybody doing? Doing good. How are you doing, Paul? I'm doing okay. I got a little bit of a cold. I had a fantastic sabbatical. It was nice. I got so good at squash. I had so much fun with squash. Can we just talk about squash for the next hour? Or at least 30 minutes while I'm live? Okay, just going in with Refine Edge, fixing that tail. We know that's an issue. We know this little white part's an issue right down there. So just kind of doing this cleanup that you know needs to happen. Click OK. Right, even in there, by the way, I'll go ahead and choke this as well, or shift the edge. You know, you really notice a shift of the edge as you start to use Refine Edge as well. All right, so good. Oh, I'm so glad that's, man, so many things we can talk about. I love talking about sort of the fundamentals of design, but also the practical, the technical execution of this. Because also, what's the situation going on here? Look, like this photo was taken in daylight, right? We know that because here's the branch, right? Bright daylight, it has a warmer tone than the Raven. The Raven is cooler, right? He's out in space, right? So we have to make some decisions like, how do we tie these together, right? How I would do it is, you know, again, you can select the branch, you can go into Hue and Saturation. This is probably the basic way to do it. Right, jump in there, and then just shift the hue one way or... Oh, am I on the right? Yeah, I am. Hold on, let's clip this. We got to clip it to just affect the branch. Shabam. Now we can go over here and watch. I'll just kind of You could see we're just kind of shifting the color of that branch, right? But the thing is, this isn't gonna, it might work in this case because it's like one color, but this isn't really how you want to do it. So I'm going to get rid of that. You might notice it's not going to work. It did not work in that case. Let's jump in here. Let's jump into, say, photo filter, right? So let's just like take photo filter. Right now there's a warming filter, right, over it. So I can have the warming filter or I can have a cooling filter, right? So it makes it look like it's shot, you know, with this cool filter, as you can see, or shot at a different time of day, right? So it takes everything that has that light and it's giving it that blue tint. So that's how we're going to tie it together. Super easy to do, right? And that just kind of ties it together better. Jump in here. We could play with levels. We could play with curves. Whatever you want to do, right? For sure is 100% too bright, right? And I'm not even sure that the background is good, because what are we dealing with? Black Raven, black sky. Get your act together, Paul. We could do better. Let's jump in here. My handy library. Let's go to space. Remember, it's the dawn. It's the creation of the universe by this cool crow. So I'm just playing with different skies, dropping them in there. Just trying out things. Taking this. All right. Bear with me. I'm working on it. Wait for it. Okay, so let's go to Free Stock Search Pro. We can go to Adobe Stock. Let's search for Galaxy. See what we get. Oh yeah, like these. This is like, let's make it pop, as they say. Okay, you like the background? I don't know which one. Oh, I'm sorry, Michelle. I don't know which one you like. Paste that in. There we go. You know I have an affinity for these colors, right? But even as I add this color, right, they look so separate because I put that cooling filter on. So really, they need to have the same. They need to have a splash of this warmth to make it look like it's part of the same world, right? We definitely need a whole lot of warmth, just in general, right? So again, if we go with this, it means we got to play with all that lighting. We have our branch and our raven and branch, right? So this is fun. Let's play. We could play with the with curves on this as well. Can I show you the thing that I sort of a pro tip that I have been using lately that's helped me? I'll show you. Cool. Just keeping track. Okay, so anyways, so this is a clipping mask. So this is going to affect the bird, right? And the branch. Bird and the branch, right? That's essentially what's happening there, which is pretty cool, right? I can adjust and make it brighter or darker. I know I need to clean up the edges, things like that. This is the tip that I like. It's like I like having everything more self-contained. So I could take this and I'll put it inside of here, Okay, so now it's inside of there, but what's happening is it passes through and affects the background and everything. So let's even make this more drastic. Right, so it's affecting everything because this folder is set to pass through. So all these effects pass through it onto the background. I'm like, hey, I don't want that. Change that to normal. Boop. Now you can see it just affects the bird and the branch. Okay, so I like that tip because now it's just so much more like self-contained and I can move it around easier, the entire layer group. So yeah, we have that kind of cleaned up. That's super bright. Let's have some fun. This goes for everything I put in here. So if I decide I want to throw a photo filter in there again and we want to like warm it up, right? You could see it's just affecting the bird and the branch in there as well. Okay. Typically what I do at this point is I would start painting with these colors. I would have blue on one side. Oh yeah, let's just do it. Why am I talking about it? Just do it. You should be like, hey, Paul, just do the thing. Yeah, the small things help so much. The small details in this are going to help out a lot. But let's go in here. We'll kind of sample that color. It's kind of this peachy color, right? We can even amp that up a little bit more. Hit B for brush, right click. Let's go to soft round, right? And we can sort of paint with a color splash on the bird and the branch, okay? This might be a case where I might even have this outside. And we'll just have this be the light, orange light. And we can start to paint with it. Right? We know that that's, you know, painting literally straight up with the colors, but we want that red kind of to just affect the light parts. So that's when we'll change the blend mode to something like lighten, right? Or, I mean, darken kind of works, but I would jump in here and play with any of these. A lot of times you just like roll through it. Even overlay looks good. But if you wanted it to just affect the darks, it'll go to lighten. Sorry, I had that backwards. Darken will just like change the light colors. Okay. But anyways, there we have it. I'm talking so much today. I have not exercised my voice the past month. I've just been little me all quiet. I'm not used to talking. Gradient map using background colors. We could do a gradient map. Yeah, that would be fun. But again, I'm just doing a splash and I want to be like very like particular about it. Like just hitting this side of the branch and this side of the raven as well, right? So there's going to be warm colors on one side, and then I would jump over here and have another layer, and this will be the cool colors or cool light. And then I would paint with this blue like on this side, right? And the nice thing is, again, this is like Surreal. We don't have to like make something look realistic if we don't want to. But again, just, you know, throw in a color splash in there. You guys get the idea. I'd say we're done with this. Okay, I'm going to save this. I could work on this more later. But yeah, we definitely knocked something out pretty fast. What is it? Creation Raven, which is a fun idea. So I also want to talk about this. What did we do here? Like wherever my orange is. Like here's a case where like, oh yeah, good job. You turned the the moon into an orange. When I see some of this stuff, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm like, oh, that's interesting. It's unique. Like, what's your point? I have to say that, like, what is your point? You just put a galaxy on a bird's back and it flew, and then it's like in, you know, on a plate of fruit and somebody's eating it, but that person's actually a giraffe that is, you know, in a terrarium or something. Terrarium. Anyway, so all I'm saying is like, have a purpose. Like, know what you're doing. We made up this whole story, and this has a point of view. So just that's all. Just have a point of view. That's all. You could make ridiculous stuff, but maybe just have a point of view, huh? How about it? I think a lot of my ooh, thank you. Tim, great idea. So yeah, do we tie this together using color harmonization? Would be a great idea. Love it. Love it. And really what I would do with this, first, there's 1,000 things. I would continue to work on this, but I only have 15 minutes to do an entirely different design that I want to get into. But, you know, we want to add more color splash. There we are. Boom. Java. Right. Gradient. Add an angle. Right, so I'm actually adding more color by adding this gradient fill with just like a soft light or overlay. You kind of pick your poison. But again, just to kind of like brighten it up, I can go that route as well. Okay, so we're going places. You can see we could do that. Last thing I typically would do is I would sharpen it. I would add grain. I'd sharpen it, and I'd still go to color lookups. I love color lookups. Jumping in here and finding something that works, you know, or doesn't work. This first one, you know, 2-strip look is awesome. It's like teal and orange. But go down to some of the Fuji films, for instance, and just see what that does to your design, whether you like it or not, right? You get the idea. Cool. You know, even this one. Ooh, this one is, it kind of ties it all together. Kind of makes the, you know, foreground and background match a little better. Okay. So anyways. Help me, people. I said I was going to stop messing with it, and I'm still messing with it. So we have a point of view. Let's take this. A lot of my stuff, I'm like, okay, Mother Nature. I love the interconnectedness of, like, you know, I just like nature. And I thought of this, like, sort of creating this Mother Nature type image. You know, or having, you know, just sort of like how interconnected everything is. So that's why it's like, okay, we could have a person, have them, you know, flow into natural elements. So that's the thought for something even more surreal. So that's what we could do with this. That's what we could do with this. So those are my two designs that I wanted to work on. Let's just try to do this as fast as possible. We'll remove background. A lot of these tips get re-emphasized. And again, thanks so much for joining me, everybody. I just appreciate you guys hanging out. Definitely want to grab that hair. So we'll select the refine edge like we do. Okay. Definitely really helps clean up all of this. Okay, super nice, right? And again, we'll still choke this by shifting the edge, right? We'll get these little spots right in here and here. Okay. I'll grab a brush, subtract. You know what? I might need the insides. I might need this shape of the body. So I'll just kind of stop there with this, and I'll shift that edge in like so. Still using refine edge to grab a little bit more of that, and right in here, in between the fingers. Click OK, we're done with that. Taking this. So again, I guess we're kind of dealing with this whole creation idea, which I'm totally into. Grab this. Or some of these other skies. Grab it. Ooh, this one's gorgeous. Look at this. Get it, Paul. Get it. Hurry up. Did you guys notice I've been starting a second project with more than 5 minutes left? All right, so we'll take this. Here she is. So we'll just call her Mother Nature. We will convert her to a smart object because I want to have two. I might want to have two masks. Yeah, I'm just going to work on this, okay? I'll sometimes duplicate that. Yeah, why not? We'll go in here. I heard Sam Peterson say that he uses quick selection tool. Hey, buddy, like, so do I. I use quick selection tool all the time. I do that right in here. Quick selection. Ba-ba. Literally click. It should be called click selection because that's all I had to do is just click on it. And then from there, I typically will expand out the selection because when you use quick selection, it might not grab everything. So go to select, modify, expand. You can expand it by 10 pixels. Let's see if it actually shows me. I really wish it gave me a preview. But we'll expand this by 10 pixels. Click OK. Right, we have expanded it out. Boom. What do? Click on the mask. Okay. Click on the mask. There we go. Typically, when you click on the mask, let me undo that. If you just click on it, it's going to keep the part you have selected. And oftentimes, I want the invert of that. So I'll hold down the Option key, click on the layer mask. There we go. This is the parts that I want. In fact, I'll convert that into another smart object. How's everybody doing? Oh, I can't catch up. Jack's in the house. What's up? How you doing? So again, guys, don't hate me, but I would jump in here. I would use, again, Free Stock Search Pro. Let's look for branches. Remember? I was using branches earlier. Yeah, see what we got. Boom, baby. Let's grab some oh, this is... They look like veins, you know? And I'm totally into it. Load some more results. It's pulling from Unsplash, Pexels, like all sorts of places. But again, I just need some branches. We could put leaves on these branches if we want to. All that good stuff. There we are. Okay, I just added like 5 images. What's up, Voodoo Val? I've missed ya. How the heck is everybody doing? How are you doing, Voodoo Val? Oh, you having buffering issues? Let me check my stream health. Stream says it's healthy. So, anyway. All right, let's move on. I added all these images. Guess what? We want to tile all to Windows, right? That's what I do. We'll tile. Shortcut key, right? So I'll usually tile all of that. Ooh, there we go. Tile everything. And then I'll start dragging them into my jump dealio. Boom. I want that branch. I want this branch. I want this branch. That's how I do it. If you're doing it a different way, awesome. Love to hear. There we go. That's pretty good. And then we can consolidate all back to tabs. So that's when I kind of jump in, jump out. Just so you can kind of see where this is going. Rather than cutting out branches, what you can always do is just, since the background's white, I just jump in and I just change this to like multiply, right? There we are. So it's kind of like you cut it out, but didn't spend any of that time doing any of that stuff. So right in here, we'll come in, we'll have trees, we'll have branches come out from each part of the person's body. All right, how's everybody doing? Check in. Yeah, let me know if you guys have a question. Joining me on YouTube, I want to say hello and head over to Behance as well. So yeah, there's this. Kind of shrugging my shoulders. Trying to thinking I don't want this to be all black, so there's kind of something I want to work on. But let's do this. Change this back to normal. Select color range. Yeah, get that white. Boom. Mask it out. Oops. Option delete, fill with foreground color. Cool. All right, so I want to do the problem is these are black branches, and I'm not a fan of these like black branches. I think they all need to be, they need to have color to them. They'll just look 1,000 times better, right? Look at this. Look at how awesome Refine Edge is, by the way. I want to get rid of all this white, just painting over it. Yeah, we might be losing some of it there, but man. What did we do before Refine Edge? Does anybody know? And what are we doing with all this time that this is sparing us? Right, there we are. Okay, so stay tuned for this one. So many more designs that I actually like wanted to work on. You know, I was going to do something fun with this one. You know, I wanted to do all the things. You want me to make something kind of trippy since we're dealing with something surreal? Brush. Ready? X. There we go. This is always like, I don't know, I think of Beautiful Bizarre magazine when I do stuff like this. But here's a case of like, you know what? Let's just create something kind of trippy. Eyes above eyes. And does this not hurt your eyes? It hurts. Right? But again, we're just having fun creating something kind of surreal. And you can see you get this more, I don't know, gothic, romantic, crazy type look. It's like Beautiful Bizarre magazine. So anyways, thanks everybody. I got to go down to my last 15 seconds. This other one I want to work on as well, but I'll just get those posted to good old Instagram, so you can follow me, as you can see right over there, or over there. There we are. So thanks everybody. Appreciate you. Be safe out there. Get lots of rest. Drink lots of water. Call your mom. Call your parents. Call a loved one. And thanks so much for watching. We'll see you online later. Thank you.